Parables of love. Unforgettable love. It was an ordinary busy morning, when at about 8:30 an elderly man, about 80 years old, came to remove the stitches from his thumb. It was obvious that he was in a hurry, and he said in a voice slightly trembling with excitement that he had important business at 9 o'clock in the morning. Shaking my head regretfully, I asked him to sit down, knowing that all the doctors were busy and they would be able to attend to him no earlier than in an hour. However, watching with what sadness in his eyes he kept looking at the hands of the clock, something seemed to jump in me compassionately, and I decided, fortunately I had no other patients at the moment, to take care of his wound myself. After examining his finger, I found that the wound had healed well, and after consulting with one of the doctors, I received the necessary tools for removing stitches and medicines for treating the wound. Having taken up his finger closely, we started talking. I couldn't resist asking him, "You probably have an appointment, since you're in such a hurry right now." "No, not really. I have to get to the hospital to feed my sick wife." Then I asked what was wrong with her, and the elderly man replied that, unfortunately, she had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. While we were talking, I managed to remove the stitches and finished treating his wound. Glancing at my watch, I asked if she would be worried if he was a little late. To my utter surprise, my interlocutor said that, alas, she had not recognized him for the last 5 years. "She doesn't even know who I am to her," he added, shaking his head. Amazed, I exclaimed, "And you still go there every morning, even though she doesn't even know who you are?" He smiled and patted my hand in a fatherly way. Replied, "She doesn't know who I am, but I know who she is." Man and warmth. One woman complained to a neighbor about a friend who offended her. The neighbor calmed her down and persuaded her to forgive her friend. "Forgive? But how is it? After what she did to me? After all, she is so evil." "No, evil cannot be forgiven," the woman said. "And in general, why should I love people who don't love me? Why should I do good when everyone around me is cheating, betraying and doing dirty tricks?" "I'll tell you a story," the neighbor tells her. "There was a man in the world, and he asked Mother Nature to make it so that it was light at night, so that no candles were lit, and so that it was warm in winter, so that the stove was not heated. But Mother Nature knows better what and how it should be, so she did not heed the requests of man. The man got angry at her and decided, 'Oh, you're like that, right? Well, then I won't turn on the lights at night and I won't shine them on you. And I won't heat the stove in winter either, so as not to warm you with its warmth. I will even open the door to the street so that there is no heat left in the house. Then you will see how cold it will be for you.'" Well, the fool, the woman interrupted the neighbor's story, thought that with his light he shines to nature, and with his warmth he warms her in the bitter cold. Arrogant fool. Why, he had to do it himself first of all. And she mother will take care of herself. "So why are you," the neighbor asked, "doing the same thing?" The woman was surprised. "Yes, you. Why do you extinguish the light of your love when darkness is gathering around you?" And why do you not light the hearth of your heart when the cold of human hearts blows around? Isn't it better than sitting in the dark and waiting for someone to shine a light on you? 2. Turn on the light yourself and shine it on yourself and others. After all, then you will see the path yourself. And perhaps others will see it and walk along it with you hand in hand. And rather than sitting in the cold and waiting for someone to warm you, wouldn't it be better to kindle the hearth of your heart and warm yourself with its warmth and warm the hearts of other people? And then, you see, their warmed hearts won't be so cold. Mother's heart. One young man fell in love with a very beautiful girl. But the girl was proud, arrogant and cruel. He often asked to become his wife, but she only laughed at him. Unable to stand it, the guy exclaimed, "I will do anything you ask, as long as you are with me." And then the proud beauty said, "Bring me your mother's heart as proof of your love for me." Without thinking, the unfortunate man rushed to run home, killed his mother, took out her heart and ran back. Suddenly he stumbled and fell. And then the mother's heart carefully asks, "Son, are you hurt? Are you in pain, son?" A woman and a bird. Once upon a time there was a bird. A bird with strong wings, with sparkling multicolored plumage. A creature created for free flight in the sky. Born to please the eyes of those who follow her from the ground. One day a woman saw her and fell in love. Her heart was pounding, her eyes glittered with excitement, when, with her mouth open in amazement, she watched this bird fly. And she called her to fly with her together. And they set off across the blue sky in perfect harmony with each other. The woman admired the bird, revered and praised it. But once it occurred to her, why, this bird will surely someday want to fly away to distant distances, to unknown mountains. And the woman was afraid. She was afraid that she would never be able to experience anything like this with another bird. And envied the innate gift of flight. And I was also afraid of loneliness. And I thought, I'll set the snares. The next time the bird arrives, it won't be able to fly away. And the bird, who also loved this woman, flew in the next day, got caught in a snare, and then was put in a cage. For days the woman admired the bird, showed the object of her passion to her friends, and they said, "Now you have everything." But strange things began to happen in the soul of this woman. She got the bird. There was no need to lure her and tame her anymore, and little by little interest in her faded. The bird, having lost the ability to fly, and this and only this was the meaning of its existence, faded and lost its luster, became ugly, and the woman stopped paying attention to it at all. She only made sure that there was plenty of food and that the cage was clean. And one day the bird just died. The woman was very sad, and only thought about her and remembered her day and night. But not how she languished in a cage, but how she saw her free flight under the clouds for the first time. And if she had looked into her soul, she would have realized that she was captivated not by her beauty, but by the freedom and power of her spread wings. Having lost the bird, its life and meaning were lost. And death knocked on her door. "Why did you come?" the woman asked her. "So that you can fly with your bird through the sky again." Death replied, "If you had allowed her to leave you and come back invariably, You would have loved and admired her more than ever. And now, so that you can see her again, it won't do without me. Paulo Coelho, 11 minutes.